Hi, welcome to Everyday Movie Recap. For today's video, we will recap a thriller film called The Platform from the year 2019. The movie revolves around a prison where food is delivered on a platform that descends. Inmates on higher levels consume more than their allotted share, leaving those below to subsist on meager portions. Have you seen this movie yet? If not, grab some popcorn and enjoy. The movie begins when Goring wakes up in a concrete cell called Vertical Self-Management Center, a prison, with the number 48 written on the wall. To others, this living hell is known as the platform. He sees a man standing opposite him. His name is Trimegasi. The whole prison is structured such that each floor is built on top of each other. There is no door, no window, and no way out except for a platform that runs up and down. Looking down, he sees two other prisoners just below them. Food is lowered through the hole on a platform each day, and everyone has 2 minutes to consume as much as they can before it moves onto a lower floor. As such, it is less likely that you will consume anything the lower you are. Convicts are rearranged and assigned to new floors at the end of each month. When the food arrives, Trimegasi immediately sets to eat. Goring, however, lost his appetite and says he's not hungry to save food for the lower floors. He just took an apple to save for later. Trimegasi spits on the table after finishing his meal, knowing that those above him most likely do the same. As soon as the platform shifts, the temperature in their room increases to an unbearable degree. Trimegasi tells him that no one is allowed to take food, or else they would be punished till they burn to a crisp. So he throws back the apple, and the temperature returns to normal. This prompts Goring to reflect on his interview prior to entering the prison, during which he had to sign a document acknowledging that he would be unable to leave until the prearranged time had passed. Goring, who is allowed to carry one object into prison, decides to bring a copy of Don Quixote. Goring willingly came here, and will stay for 6 months in order to receive a recognized diploma. When the platform arrives the next day, Goring declines to eat once more, and Trimegasi believes floor 48 is wasted on him. Goring requested Trimegasi to tell him why he got to that place. It began with a TV commercial, he says. After seeing an amazing knife on TV, he purchased it, but a few days later, a new advertisement for an even better knife came out. He was so angry over this that he killed a passerby by throwing the TV out the window. Trimegasi was offered the option to go to a mental health facility or dig a hole, and he chose the latter. He has only gone as low as 132, but he can tell that there are more floors because that is the lowest he has been. Food never reaches the lower levels, and things aren't too awful after a month. The trouble arises when you receive 2 lower levels in a row. Fearing this outcome, Goring tries to speak with others on the other floors and requests that they ration their food, but they just shout to save more wine. In response, Trimegasi urinates on the platform. He also says that the knife he purchased from TV is what he decided to bring with him. When the platform passes by again, Goring eventually starts to eat. Additionally, he witnesses someone from the higher levels fall through the opening. Trimegasi informs him that this happens frequently, but that nothing can be done about it. Goring ultimately learns that Trimegasi ate his prior cellmate when he was on the lower floors, and learns that cellmates are kept together when they are shuffled. When the platform is lowered once again, a woman named Miharu is in the middle of it. Goring observes that she is hurt, and he becomes concerned about her, but Trimegasi advises him to ignore her. Once a month, Miharu descends into the pit to search for her lost child. She also murders every cellmate she encounters to increase her chances of being matched with her child the next month. The man they witnessed falling was most likely her victim. Trimegasi goes on to say that, in contrast to her, he never killed anyone. Instead, he simply consumed the body that had fallen onto his floor. As the platform advances to lower levels, the inmates attempt to take advantage of Miharu. Goring orders them to stop bothering her, but Miharu simply kills them and heads back to the platform. A month goes by. The inmates are gassed to sleep and moved around. Goring wakes and discovers himself strapped to his bed on floor 171. Trimegasi explains that he restrained Goring because Trimegasi needed to defend himself because Goring is younger and stronger and might attack him due to hunger. Furthermore, it's better to eat than be eaten. There are individuals reacting to their new levels by screaming from the other floors, and when the platform arrives, not even a crumb is left. Trimegasi declares that it's finally time for him to eat after 8 days. Trimegasi uses his knife to remove some meat from Goring's thigh, ignoring his cries for mercy. However, before he can finish it, the platform comes, carrying Miharu. When Miharu realizes Goring has been concerned about her, he charges at Trimegasi and uses his own knife to end him. Goring is then set free and given the knife, so he can use it to kill Trimegasi. After that, Goring faints and finds himself on the bed when he wakes up. After using a piece of bed sheet to bandage his leg, Miharu is now ingesting parts of Trimagasi. Goring hesitates before accepting some meat. Before walking off the platform without saying anything, she also gives him some water. As the days go by and Trimagasi's carcass starts to deteriorate, Goring has the opportunity to eat worms as well. Goring starts having hallucinations and sees the ghost of Trimagasi, who criticizes him while he eats. It is finally the end of the month and time to shuffle the prison assignment once again. He wakes up that morning and finds out a dog is kissing him. To Goring's dismay, Imujirai, the same woman who conducted his interview when he applied to be a volunteer in this prison, has become his new cellmate. They've reached level 33 with the dog that she decided to bring with her. Imujirai clarifies in the present that she volunteered in the same way as Goring and that she was unaware that people perished there. As far as Imujirai is aware, there are 200 levels. Goring says there isn't enough food for everyone, but she replies that it would be sufficient if everyone only consumed what they required. Although Imujirai is certain that the company policy forbids under 16ths, he does question if the loss of a kid could bring about change. When food is brought to them by the platform, Imujirai just consumes what she needs and starts preparing 2 portions after giving some to her dog. Imujirai tries to talk sense into the inmates' heads as the platform reaches the lower level. She instructs them to consume the meal she made and prepare 2 more so that the message can continue to the next level. She is obviously given zero attention, and Goring notes that the administration isn't genuinely interested in solidarity, to which Goring responds that she had the option to select her cellmate because she was a former employee. Imujirai doesn't give up and tries to ration the food every day, but the lower levels still don't care about her. After 2 weeks, Goring finally grows weary of her constant ranting and threatens to urinate on the meal every day if they don't follow Imujirai's instructions. The detainees begin relaying the messages to the lower levels after the threat is successful. The following day, an unconscious Miharu is delivered along with the food. She is placed on a bed and is attended to by Goring and Imujirai. The cage gets really chilly once the platform departs, and Goring needs to go after the dog to return the food he stole before they are punished for disobeying the laws. Goring moves from the bed to the floor to let Miharu sleep. When you wake up to discover the girls fighting, it's because Miharu killed the dog so he could eat him. Goring informs Imujirai of Miharu's will to survive only to find her child. However, Imujirai clarifies that Miharu arrived 10 months ago by herself. Like Goring, she was an actress who volunteered to come despite having no family. Imujirai has been battling cancer for 3 years, and she sent people down here without realizing how bad it was. She offered to come when she found out her life was ending to make a difference. With the loss of her pet and counted days, she no longer cares. Even though Imujirai is too miserable to get out of bed on their final day on floor 33, Goring attempts to get her to eat something since they might not have food tomorrow. The next day, they found out they are in a much worse situation than before. Now on floor 202, Goring looks at Imujirai, who unalives herself by using her bedsheets. Trimagasi's ghost resurfaces at that point, asking whether Goring will consume his new friend. Imujirai and her dog join him this time, offering to let him consume her corpse. Goring makes an effort to ignore their incessant babbling and attempts to occupy his time with other activities. He starts counting the days on the wall by taking a plate shard and stuffing his stomach with book pages. But eventually, the hunger gets the better of him, and Goring starts eating Imujirai while Trimagasi gives him advice on where to cut. When the next shuffle arrives, Goring is happy to see that he is on floor 6. Bahara is Goring's new cellmate. He selected a rope as his object. Bahara asks the folks on level 5 for assistance. Before agreeing to take the rope, the pair above teases him. However, as soon as Bahara begins to climb, the other prisoner lowers her pants and urinates on Bahara's face. Though the rope falls into the hole, Goring manages to catch him just in time. They must eat when the platform arrives and listen to the level 5 inmates become rowdy. As time goes on, Trimagasi and Imujirai's hallucinations reappear. Imujirai warns Trimagasi that change never occurs on its own and that Goring is doing fine because he only has 1 more month left. This prompts Goring to come up with a strategy and ask Bahara for assistance. Ensuring that people ration the food so that everyone can eat, they should leap onto the platform brandishing any weapon they can find. Based on his calculations while he was on floor 202, Goring estimated that there should be about 250 levels, based on how long it takes the platform to move. When Bahara agrees to cooperate, they smash a bed and make use of its metal parts as weapons. After leaping onto the platform, the 2 of them proceed to level 7, where Goring reminds them not to let the inmates take anything. These individuals ate yesterday and will most likely eat again tomorrow. Thus, food distribution should only begin for those who are experiencing difficulties at level 50. Because these inmates were his buddies who had assisted him in climbing some weeks earlier, Bahara is hesitant. But as soon as the elderly guy lashes out in rage, Bahara understands Goring's point and starts assisting him in keeping everyone away. The two continue to descend while they threaten others to not touch the meal. After exploring a few more levels, Bahara is startled to see Brambang, an elderly, knowledgeable man whom he admires. Brambang supports the boys' efforts, but he makes the point that while the administration is heartless and won't care if the boys succeed, maybe the employees on level 0 will listen, so they must send a message. The panna is Bahara and Goring's choice since it's an elaborate dish that will make a big impression if it arrives at the bottom untouched. They continue and descend, protecting the panna and keeping people at a distance from any attacks. People are incredibly appreciative when Bahara and Goring start giving out food rations once they reach level 50. They discover a mentally challenged young man and a sick elderly man on level 97. When Goring tries to give the elderly man some soup, the youngster tells them not to worry since he will live the man later, so that he may eat anything they give him. On the next floor is a dead body. Goring assumes it's because of Maharu. They get to floor 250, but the platform still doesn't stop, indicating that there are no people on any of those floors. As a result, the platform continues beyond this point. They find two men attacking Miharu on the lower levels. It is quite difficult for Goring and Bahara to defend themselves when they leap in to save the girl, because one of them is enormous and muscular and the other wields a blade. Mahark has already passed away, but Bahara succeeds in getting his man first and then assists Goring in killing the huge man. Goring tries to grieve for her, but Bahara pulls him back onto the platform before it leaves them. Even though several of the floors are empty except for dead bodies, the two of them continue to descend and feed any inmates they come across. The platform eventually comes to an end at level 333, which appears to be the final one. They initially believe it to be empty, but Molly, the missing kid, is really hiding under the bed. The moment Bahara and Goring get close to the child, the platform begins to descend once more. Bahara refuses Goring's request to toss the panna cotta into the hole. They are shocked to learn that the chamber doesn't turn hot or cold to punish them, and after much deliberation, Bahara hands Molly the panna cotta. The trio remains on that level, with Goring being plagued by the spirits of Imujirai, Trimagasi, and now Maharu. When Goring wakes up, he finds that Bahara died from his wounds. Bahara abruptly agrees with the ghosts, telling him that the girl is the message. The next time the platform arrives, Goring brings Molly along, and together they descend into the pitch-black, empty floor. The movie ends as Trimagasi appears and tells Goring to leave the platform as he isn't part of the message. They watch Molly's platform rise in the hopes that Molly will expose the cruelty in this whole place. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy this movie. See you in our next video.